Hot take? Actually a lukewarm take if you've actually been fucking paying attention. The Shade Room, when it comes to information, is one of the worst things that has ever happened to the black community. Oh no, what did the Shade Room do? Stick with me, because this is actually insane. I know we've all heard about it at this point. Joe Biden announced a $700 payment to the families who are affected by the fires that have happened recently in Maui. And before I continue, as the number of lives that have been claimed by this fire continue to rise, I hope we can all understand how much a threat climate change is. My sincerest condolences go out to everybody who's been affected by the fires, and I hope for a speedy recovery for the entire state of Hawaii. I don't have thoughts and prayers because we need action. We've been needed action. With all that being said, let's talk about what is true and what isn't true, and why this discourse is making me literally nauseous. So if you aren't aware that the Shade Room is right-leaning, I don't know what the fuck you've been living under. Trump, or the top Republican that they're considering to be president again, mind you, just got hit with a damn RICO charge. They reported it and then chose to report Trump is hiring a liberal lawyer who's supported to defend him again. As if that fucking means anything, almost to suggest that, oh, even a liberal's defending him. It must be bogus. Oh, and would you look at that, conspiracy theories in the comments about how they really don't want him to run next election because they know we want Biden out. And that same sentiment came to a head under this post, because these are the comments. They gave billions to Ukraine, but our own US citizens get $700. Billions to Ukraine, and now all the $700. 700 ain't finna get them gas. You won't ever be president after these F-ups. Sent trillions of dollars to Ukraine, but not even your own country. Hold up, you sent almost $1 trillion to Ukraine? This seems planned. With every bone in me, I hope y'all don't vote for this clown again in 2024, if he runs again. Bro, you can't even take care of your own country, but you sent Ukraine. Trillions to Ukraine. Please don't vote for this dude again. Okay. Couple things. Level 1, what has Biden actually done? Shocker, it wasn't just $700. There are 300 FEMA workers on the ground right now. FEMA has now provided 50,000 meals, 75,000 liters of water, 5,000 cots, and 10,000 blankets to the people of Maui. FEMA has also activated a transitional sheltering assistance program to help people who were displaced find a hotel or a motel. The critical needs program to get people additional food, water, and other supplies was the $700 that was issued. Also, multiple federal agencies are on the ground helping out, including, we already talked about FEMA, but also the US Coast Guard, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, Biden ordered the military to help fight the fires and evacuate people. The Navy's 3rd Fleet was deployed to help out with efforts, as well as the Army, and the Marines are providing Black Hawk helicopters to help fight the fires. Also, Joe Biden made a disaster declaration for Hawaii, which frees up federal aid to support recovery efforts. That funding can be applied to grants for temporary housing and house repairs. It can also cover uninsured property losses, and it also is available to help individuals and business owners recover. The $700 was along with all this other aid. He didn't just throw $700 at them and say good luck. And this is steps he can take as the president right now, and that matters later. Level 2, since we're dogging on Joe Biden, and apparently some of you like Donald Trump so much, how would he respond to a crisis like this? I'm not gonna talk about COVID, because it seems like y'all have just conveniently forgot about this shit. This was Trump's response to Hurricane Maria. For y'all to not understand that... Wait a minute. You're saying we have an update? Oh, turns out I was wrong. Because this was Trump's response to Hurricane Maria. Not only did Trump officials block Puerto Rico from receiving hurricane aid, his administration then obstructed an investigation into why they blocked that aid. That investigation was looking into why about $20 billion in hurricane aid was withheld. Those funds were congressionally approved. Remember when I said it was important to realize that Biden is doing what's in his power? Because many of you hopped on Instagram and social media without realizing that in order for us to get hella money to Hawaii, Congress needs to pass a budget first. Anyway, back to Trump. His Office of Management and Budget in 2018 began requiring extra procedural steps that weren't required before that stopped Housing and Urban Development from being able to unlock the funds required from Puerto Rico in time. When investigators tried to find out why this was going on, they were denied information from Housing and Urban Development multiple times under Trump. Trump's Office of Management and Budget also refused to comply. Mind you, this hurricane killed 2,975 people and triggered the world's 2nd longest blackout. Housing and Urban Development officials literally admitted to knowingly missing the congressionally mandated deadline to issue the notice that would unlock the funds for Puerto Rico. The head of it, Ben Carson, defended himself by questioning Puerto Rico's ability to handle the money you're supposed to give them. Meanwhile, Trump was opposing the funding, failing to acknowledge Maria's death toll, and is quoted as saying he did not want a single dollar going to Puerto Rico. On top of that, this ghoulish administration imposed more restrictions and more requirements in 2020 on how you could get aid in Puerto Rico. They claimed it was because Puerto Rico was too corrupt in how they handled their money, despite the fact that Texas and Florida had similar issues and their funds were not withheld. By the way, Joe Biden removed these restrictions. If we were just yeeted into a vortex where we had no recollection of his pandemic response and we have no clue that he's been hit with 4 indictments, one of them being a damn RICO charge, this shit alone is disqualifiable. None of y'all knew that, but y'all mad at Joe Biden right now. Level 3, but Ukraine! Firstly, how much aid have we sent to Ukraine? Is it a trillion? Is it trillions? It's 76.8 billion so far. The proposed 40+ billion coming after we pass a budget bill, which would take it up to around 113 billion. Sounds scary, right? As a percentage of GDP, or the amount of money that Americans are generating in the economy, we are down here, with all these other countries dedicating way more of their economies to supporting Ukraine. Secondly, why are we doing this? We can ignore the fact that many of you took Joe Biden to task over gas prices and simultaneously don't want us to be sending money to Ukraine, but the reason why the gas prices were so high was because Russia invaded Ukraine. We can ignore the fact that we're literally a part of NATO, a thing that was developed to stop countries from just raffle stomping other countries and taking them whenever, because, you know, World War II happened, which is why there's way more countries besides just us that are helping Ukraine. We can ignore how it makes us look on a world stage if Ukrainians are being invaded and getting killed by one of the biggest foreign military powers for no reason, and we're just like, fuck them, they're not Americans. If Joe Biden decides to do nothing, that means that after World War II, we still aren't willing to stop countries from just being able to walk into other countries and take them over. And if we aren't willing to do that, how's China feeling about invading Taiwan, something that it doesn't even respect as a country, if they're gonna face no resistance? And before you say, and I don't give a damn about no Taiwan, I hope you like Great Depression, because Taiwan is home to far and away the biggest, most productive, and most advanced distributor and producer of microchips, which is, by the way, why Biden wanted to ramp up production in the United States. And if China invades and we see a bunch of damages, which we will see, the worldwide production of everything from cars to the iPhone in your damn pocket could grind to a halt. Foreign policy is very complicated, which is why Shade Room and platforms like it just give you the clickbaited shit to get you riled up and generate attention for them, all the while generating narratives that promote a fascist with multiple outstanding charges who is critically inept at handling anything that is befitting of a president as a more reasonable option because Joe Biden gave $700. Google is free. Please utilize it.